here with Ms. Sandra Charleston. We're here to start off Techstars Startup Week. We're very excited to be the first presentation on this awesome adventure. I'm representing the Apalachee Regional Planning Council, and we're here to talk about access to capital for startups. I thought first it would be a good idea to just let everybody know who the Apalachee Planning Council is. We are a quasi-governmental agency that is recognized by Florida statutes, and we're not funded by the state of Florida. Essentially, we're funded by the counties that we serve, and we represent a 9-county region called the Apalachee region. We extend from Jefferson County to the east and through Leon County, Franklin County, Gadsden County, Gulf, Calhoun, Jefferson, Jackson, all the way to Gulf County on the west. And we are essentially an extension of county planning services. So we have a housing program, transportation program, emergency management, environmental planning, and economic development. And what I'm on the economic development team, and our goal is to find grants for our local governments and get them able to access more capital and create jobs and stimulate their local economies. And so one thing that we have going on is the Revolving Loan Fund program. We were awarded 2 grants from the Economic Development Administration last summer. One was a CARES Act grant for $580,000, and that money is specifically for our rural counties, startup companies and existing businesses to spur economic growth and job creation, and they can start up their business, scale their business, expand their businesses. That's what that money is for, and it's a loan program. We also have the Revive loan program, and that is specifically for Leon County, and that's a $1 million. We have $720,000 remaining for startup companies and existing businesses in Leon County. And that's why we're here today, so that we can tell you about the eligibility, the terms and conditions of the program, and give you some examples of some of the wonderful recipients that we are helping to start up and scale their businesses. Ms. Charleston being one of them. So let's get started. We're Revolving Loan Fund, essentially, just in case you're not sure of what one is, because I wasn't when I started on this journey. Essentially, when we were given money from the EDA to help Leon County and our local governments. Once we have that money, we developed a loan program. When we loan out the money to our borrowers, they make their interest and principal payments. Part of that money goes back into a fund that is reinvested, and we can then have that money revolve and cycle into more money to give to additional businesses, and that's why it's called a revolving loan fund. The purpose of the loans is to help businesses expand and succeed and create more jobs. Ultimately, we want to employ more people. And as the loans are repaid, like I said, they're reinvested by the ARPC and into the form for loans for new businesses. So I wanted to talk about the eligibility requirements. The business owner must demonstrate a personal investment in their business. They must secure the loan with collateral that is equal to the amount of the loan. And they must demonstrate that one job will be retained or created per $20,000 that's borrowed. So for example, if you are just starting and you are a one-person business, you could technically apply for a loan for $20,000, and that would meet the requirement of the one job per $20,000. Now, if you have a business plan in action and you'll be employing 5 additional part-time people, then you could do like an $80,000 loan, because 2 part-time jobs can equal 1 full-time job, and so that's how you meet that requirement, and that is a Economic Development Administration requirement that we're also we have to follow. So the loans can be used to purchase commercial land and buildings, commercial construction and renovation, machinery and equipment, commercial leasehold improvements, facade improvements, counters and all that type of stuff for the interior of a business, working capital, so inventory, payroll, professional contract services like marketing and legal, all those type of things can be funded by these loans. However, the loans cannot be used to refinance existing debt. They can't be used as a line of credit, and the loans are not allowed to be used to residential construction or renovation, because in the mindset of the EDA, that is more of a housing and urban development and USDA type of thing. That's not what the EDA is involved with. In terms of the loan conditions, we've got loans ranging from $5,000 to $100,000. The interest rates are 5 to 6%, fixed for the length of the term of the loan. There is no penalty for paying the loan off early. The loan term is typically between 3 to 10 years, and that's going to depend on the type of collateral that you use to secure the loan. So the loans can be secured by different types of collateral. And by collateral, we mean assets that can be liquefied pretty quickly. So in the case that the loan was defaulted on, we're able to sell those assets, reclaim the money, and get it back out to another small business. And so in that sense, we've been typically using machinery and equipment or real estate. Now, machinery and equipment, that will be a 3 to 5 year loan, and the assets can be collateralized at 50% of what their current value is. And the reason why we have to do it that way is because of depreciation. Because we all know that if you buy a new car, it's current, once it's bought, it's already not as valuable as it was before you purchased it. One way that we have kind of been able to work with the machinery and equipment collateral requirement is you can do a self-financing, like an equipment financed loan. So for example, we have a recipient that owns a trucking company in Alpha, and they had one freight truck and they wanted to purchase another freight truck because they wanted to scale up. And so we were able to loan them $25,000. They went and purchased their new truck, and then they gave the ARPC the lien on the truck. And so the collateral is the truck itself. And then once they make the payments and the truck is paid off, their loan is paid off, everything is good, the truck is theirs. And so that's one way that we've been trying to find creative and flexible ways to allow our businesses to actually take advantage of this program. And sometimes when you're a startup, you don't necessarily have the collateral. And so, that's one of the things that we're really working hard on is coming up with ways to help startup businesses and just everyone. The other key collateral that most people use is real estate. And with real estate, since it basically retains its value for much longer, those can be 10-year loans, and the assets are collateralized based on the equity and market value. So essentially, it's how much money you've already invested in that property, and then what the property is valued at currently. So let's say you have some acreage and the market value is $100,000, and you have paid $70,000 into it. So you still have $30,000 remaining on the mortgage. We could technically offer you a $70,000 loan, because that's what that piece of land right now is valued at. In terms of payments, we provide interest-only payments for the first 3 months, and then we customize a payment structure depending on the cash flow of your business. Sometimes, depending on the type of business, and if you're working, for example, if you have a daycare or an assisted living facility and you're doing a program with the federal government, sometimes you won't get paid, you won't get the money back from them to run that program until later. So but you still have a payroll to make every month. And so what we take those into consideration and say, okay, well, we realize that you might not necessarily have that payment ready, but you can make 2 payments when you've got that check coming in from the federal government. And so that is how we try to structure it. We also, some businesses are more seasonal, so we have a hay baler, and they have 6 months of the year where they bale the hay, and that's when they get their money in. But then he wants to keep his employees on and make sure that he's got them secured for the next year. And so we have made agreements with him where we know when to expect those payments, but they might not be on an exact month basis. It just, we want to meet the business owner where they're at. And then in terms of an application fee, there is a $100 application fee that we require at the closing. So there's no upfront investment, like you don't have to pay to apply for the loan. The only thing you're going to do is help us with the closing fee, which is $100. And we also do in-house closing, so we're not taking out lawyer fees and that type of thing either. The loan application process is relatively easy. We've got 5 forms. We've got the general business information form, a personal financial statement, where we just want to see where your assets are, what your expenses are. We've got monthly business expenses. In this form, we want to see what your monthly budget is, and that way, when we can factor in what your loan payment will be, we just want to make sure that everything balances out and that the business is able to cover the payment. And then we've got assets and collateral, and that's where you would list out the types of assets that you could use possibly for collateral for the loan, and monthly personal income and expenses. That's kind of like the business expense form, where we just want to make sure that your personal expenses aren't going to bleed over into your business, because we want to make sure that you're able to cover your family and cover your business and not have the two, collide into a big mess, essentially. We just want to make sure that this is a good fit for your business and for you. And then we also ask for some supplementary financial documents, like a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, tax returns. These things we understand with a startup company, you might not have them yet because you're starting up. And if that's the case, for the tax returns, we just want to see your personal tax returns for 2 years. Profit and loss statement, balance sheet, it'd be great to see your business projections. Where do you see your company being in a year based on the sales that you're projecting? The credit score is something that we ask you to volunteer, but it's not a requirement for the loan application process. And we highly recommend a business plan. If you do not yet have a business plan, we can help you get started on a business plan. And then the criteria, we're from essentially the fact that we're not just testing you on a credit score. We're trying to take everything. We're trying to take a big picture perspective. We are not a bank, and so we're not loaded. We're investing in people, and we're investing in your business, and so we try to be a lot more flexible than a bank would be. And let's move forward to the loan application process. Essentially, if you want to apply for a loan with us, talk to me. I have business cards. My name is Jana Williams again, at janawilliams@arpc.org. And we talk, and you tell me what your business is and what's going on and what your needs are. And from there, we start chatting and starting to see, well, based on the requirements of the $20,000 per job saved or created, will you meet that? How much money do you need to borrow? And then we just go down the path with a conversation first, and then we can start filling out the forms, and you can fill out the forms on your own, or you can fill them out with me. It's very casual and informal. I'm just happy to help along the process. Once the forms are filled out, we present the loan application to our executive committee, and they review the application, and if it's approved, then we send the recommendation to the Economic Development Administration office in Atlanta. If they approve it, then we can close on the loan. If the executive committee says we're not ready to approve this loan application, then we can go back to the drawing board. We can figure out, what were the red flags to the committee? How can we adjust and improve the status of your business so that you can get this loan? And that's how we handle those type of things. It's not the end of the world. We're gonna say, okay, well, there are some weaknesses, and let's figure out how we can strengthen things and make things better. I wanted to focus attention on a few of our current loan recipients. The first is this young lady, Stacy Copeland. So she lives in Chattahoochee, Florida, which is in Gadsden County. And she has been working for Massage Envy in Panama City Beach for about 5 years. She's a licensed massage therapist, and she grew up in Chattahoochee, and she wants to own her massage studio in downtown Chattahoochee, and that's what she's done. She took out a loan, and actually, she has had 2 loans with us. Her first loan was prior to Hurricane Michael, and she took out $20,000 so that she could renovate her space on Main Street. And essentially, Hurricane Michael hit, destroyed some of what she had already, done she repaired the roof, she had done all these improvements, set her back, but she kept making her loan payments, even though it was a struggle. And she asked us this past summer, she said, I'm this close to opening, but I need to borrow $13,000 more, and so that I can get everything carpeted, I can get the drywall up, and we can get going. And she had been such a good borrower and made her payments, even with Hurricane Michael and COVID. We had a good relationship with her, and we trusted her, and we knew that this would be a good move for her. And so now July 30th, she opened. She had a grand opening ribbon cutting with my Big Bend Minority Chamber of Commerce. And it's really cool because the way she's doing it right now is she still has her job with Massage Envy 3 days a week, and then she does 4 days a week in her shop. And she's doing very well. And she also sells oils and lotions, and she does gift certificates. And if you guys are in Chattahoochee and want a massage, I highly recommend Rejuvenate You. Ms. Copeland is awesome. So that's one example. And actually, her collateral, she had family land that she used as her collateral for her loan. And it's one thing that I'd like to point out is that it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate in your name. It just needs to be personally guaranteed. So it's, if you've got an angel investor or someone who, a silent business partner, they can help with the collateral. It doesn't have to be specifically in your name, and her family helped her with that. The second business owner I'd like to highlight is Ms. Sharon James. She's from Leon County, and she started Impact Food Services Group last year. And essentially, she's a social impact company where she installs fresh food kiosks in condominiums and hospitals and any type of food desert type area where you don't want chips and a soda anymore. Like, you want something wholesome that's going to keep you going for the rest of the day. And so everything is digitized. These vending machines are amazing. And she started last spring, and she's already placed 10 machines all throughout Leon County. They're doing very well. And she actually used one of the equipment financing options for her loans, and she already invested her money in 5 of the kiosks. And so we said, okay, well, with the other 5, we'll purchase them, put a lien on them, and then once you pay off the loan, then it's back in your possession. And that's how she's been able to scale her business up, and it's worked quite nicely. And we're excited because once she's at a point in her business now where with 10 machines, it's a lot different than having just 2 in terms of delivery and stocking and figuring everything out. And once she's got her second phase of her operations plan, then she's going to consider purchasing 5 more machines, and we can help her with that loan too, because we know that, she's a credit-worthy business and she's doing good work. And finally, we've got Miss Charleston here. This is Miss Sandra Charleston, and she started Crowning Glory custom sewing and embroidery here in Tallahassee, Florida. And she came to us last I guess February it was, and she borrowed $20,000, and I thought we could kind of have a question and answer session with her since we've got her live and in person. So, Ms. Charleston, can you tell me what inspired you to start your own business?
Well, I enjoy sewing and designing and embroidery. When I moved to Tallahassee from Denver in '89, my first job when I got back to Tallahassee was there was a business in the Government Square Mall called We Be Monograms. And I applied because I knew how to sew. My grandmother taught me how to sew. And the owner of that business, Lori, she taught me how to use the first commercial embroidery machine. And there's so many things that you can do with it. My grandmother was a hand embroiderer, but I'm the machine embroiderer. And it's just, you get so excited once you sit down and you see a photograph or a picture come to life on this machine and all the possibilities and stuff. And when COVID hit, I was asked to do a lot of masks for the schools. So I would go to Faith Presbyterian and pick up the masks, put the masks together, return them, and then pick up another batch. So it kept me working, even though it was on a voluntary basis. I've always liked sewing and designing clothes. I went to school for a year in Tallahassee and in Denver. And sometimes I would teach a class or teach kids as to how to sew and put things together, because my thing is, like with the young people, I said the same way you go out there and pay these designers and buy all these clothes, put your own design together. Make your own stuff become you. And that's what I would teach a lot of the kids. I said, if you have a picture of a design that you like, you can put that into life. And that's when I'm most relaxed and in my own little world, when I'm sitting at my embroidery machine and designing different stuff. So I first heard about the loan program was through WTXL. I was listening one morning while I was taking care of a relative that was a cancer patient. So I followed up with the loan process call and asked, and then I talked to Jana, and then I came in and talked to her about the loan process.
And it was great because Miss Sandra, because of COVID, she had this public-facing job. She was doing retail management, and her doctor said, this isn't a good thing for you right now. You need to think of something different. And she had 20 years of experience already a network of folks that she was doing business for. And so she said, well, I need a machine. I need a machine and I need a workspace. And so we came up with a way to secure the loan with Collateral, and she purchased a workspace in her backyard, and the machine, it's a 10-needle embroidery machine. She's got her sewing table, her cutting table in there, and she's getting to work. And it's been really cool to see her build things up. What did you think about the application process, Ms. Sandra?
My biggest fear with applying for a business loan was the process that it took. But when I sat down with Jana, it was more so she helped me through the process. She walked me through the process. She, any questions I had, I was able to, she answered. So it was a whole lot easier than, going through a lot of these other organizations that were offering loans. Because she gave me that option, because at the same time, FAMU was doing their small business minority loan. But it was like she actually took the time to walk me step through step with the loan. And when I would get discouraged, she would say, don't give up, it's gonna happen, it takes time, but it's gonna happen, and it did. So I was excited. I tell people about the loan now, where they can go and get a small business loan to help them get started. You can make, the thing is, you can make your dreams and ideas come to life. So.
And one of the additional things that once we have the loan approved, the ARPC also likes to continue with business technical assistance. And so with Ms. Sandra, first of all, even before she applied for the loan, I told her she needed to go talk to the FAMU Small Business Development Center. She got some she's still working with the business consultants over there. They're helping her to get her finances in order and her bookkeeping, and they're working on getting like FAMU license.
I'm trying to get a license to carry the colleges to be able to sell their merchandise and embroider their merchandise. So you have to get a license if you're using the schools and stuff.
So so when she came to me, I said, well, of course we want you to consider our loan program, but there is FAMU Federal Credit Unions. We're not competing with. We're just another option, and if this is the option that fits you best, then we want to help you. And so, and I also wanted, Ms. Sandra has the skills. She just needs help with the business part, and so that's what we're working on now. And it's not just the ARPC. We're helping with marketing, and we're going to work on a website and start doing some mailers and that type of thing. But it's a community endeavor. She's got partners, throughout our entrepreneur network helping her, and that's what it's all about. So, do y'all have any questions?
My company works with various for-profit, non-profit, that's 60 different organizations we do back office. And this would be a tool for some of our smaller clients. Is this available to nonprofits?
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And I'm glad you asked that question, because we've only recently started really promoting that, and I think it really would be useful for nonprofits.
So if we wanted to put this on our website or promote it, do you have the materials for us to be able to do that?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, I'll give you my card.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Go. Yes.
What kind of industries are you seeing mostly when it comes to the applicants that are successful at applying for this?
That's a great question too. We have, for our Revive Loan Fund, it's really just been we have a pharmacy. So we have a pharmacy who, he's been in business for 13 years, but he just signed up with 2 Medicare programs to do telemedicine and comprehensive health for like elderly and chronically ill people. And so he needed to scale up fast, and he's borrowed $100,000, and he's gotten, they were able to hire another physician, and they've been able to expand their inventory. So we've got a pharmacy, we've got a drama, dance and art and music company that goes into the public schools and teaches the kids and gives them opportunities at lunchtime and after school to do something healthy. We have a law firm. It's just one lady and an assistant, and she helps do the guardian ad litem for elderly and persons with disabilities. And she's been mainly working in Tallahassee and Gaston County, but she wants to expand. And she has a full-time job as a lawyer for the Department of Revenue, but her passion is helping people. And so that, law firm. So it really does we have another business that's a hair and beauty supply accessory store on South Adams. So honestly, it's really just, it crosses the spectrum. We've got accounting firms, a trucking business, like I mentioned, we've got agricultural concerns, we've got a smokehouse. They do their sausages, and they needed a loan to buy a vacuum packaging machine so that they can start selling their sausages retail rather than just wholesale or, on a per customer basis when they have a deer. So we want to see a variety of businesses, and that there's not really a limit to only one industry. We're kind of excited every time there's a new industry to see how we can help. Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I'm sending somebody your way because I was talking. I think you all did something with maybe Donnie or Women Wednesday or something of that nature. So I sent somebody your way.
Thank you.
This local, so they'll be connecting with you and Melissa.
Fantastic.
A woman-owned business too, a woman of color who's amazing and not far from you. That's another thing. But I know in the requirements, it's some of it is business, some of it is personal. Right? There's a lot of varying there. So obviously, you all looking at personal credit score to make sure that you're got everything where you need. So when you apply, if you're putting your business documents in there, is it hitting on your personal credit score for the loan, or is it strictly a business loan?
The loan application is not going to affect your credit score one way or the other.
Got it. Good to know. Okay.
What were some of the biggest obstacles you said? You said the application process was what you were most afraid of. What part of working with ARPC helped you overcome those? Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Because a lot of places, they do base things on credit. And with ARPC, they didn't necessarily. I used land as my down payment because I had land. But it was like, all right, since they're still willing to give you a chance, even though you may not have A1 credit. And see, at the time, when I stopped working at my job, I was on leave without pay. I was maintaining with my sewing and all of that. And that's always been my backup because with my health problems, I just started really working out in the public. I learned how to drive in 2006 when I started working with a company. Because I'm a very severe asthmatic. As a matter of fact, I'm a status asthmatic. I had to go to Denver for my asthma. So I never really got out there to work, but I always sewed. My grandmother taught me how to sew. And that was something that, because I couldn't work and all of that, my sewing was the thing that I got into and enjoyed. So it was like, I was doing a lot of volunteer stuff and teaching sewing and stuff. And my thing was, if I can do this volunteer, why can't I make a business of it? Something that I enjoy doing. And I love doing it. So it's like, why not, if you're gonna start a business, start something that you like to do. You know, the whole time when I was a store manager in retail, I dealt with public, I dealt with clothing, fashion, and stuff like that. So that kind of helped me too. And working with Jana, you know, I more so like doing the sewing part of it, but I always had that fear of the books, the records you had to keep, and all that kind of stuff. So she's helped me with that, and in easing into learning how to do all of that. But at the same time, I'm doing something I enjoy doing. You know.
I feel like a big obstacle, one of the big obstacles for Miss Sandra was herself. She just
Yeah,
had confidence.
It was, because I even had a doctor friend before he died. He really believed in my son, the investment, you know, with my son. And he was ready to help me set up a business. They had the overseas manufacturer. And he said, you're your biggest enemy. My son wrote a letter to the Tom Joyner Morning Show about my sewing abilities and with my disability and stuff. I wanted all packaged through their Christmas wish list in 2014, where they purchased my embroidery machine, everything, based on my son's letter about my sewing and how much I enjoyed it. So it was like, you know, just building up that courage. Everybody else is believing in me. Why can't I believe in me? You know.
Yeah, we were, yes, and Miss Sandra came in and she had her masks and she had her embroidery, she had her samples, and she knows what she's doing. And we saw the value in that in her, and that's, you know, that's what the Revive program really, that's what it's about. You know, we're just not we're not a bank. That's not what we're doing. Does anybody else have any questions?
Good information.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
She really is. And once so it's Crown and Glory embroidery, custom embroidery. If you have a logo, Miss Sandra can put it on something.
Like if you have a business card, it can be digitized and turned into an embroidery design. A picture can be digitized to where it can be turned into an embroidery design that the machine reads. So.
Yeah, we're very excited. And we wanted to thank Donny Station for this opportunity to let us talk about the program. We have, again, my email address is jwilliams@arpc.org. We're at www.arpc.org and just look for our RLF program. My phone number is 850-339-4564. Give me a call, give me a text, let me know, just let me know what y'all are thinking about. And if it's not gonna fit, I'm not gonna waste your time, because there's there's a lot of options here. And this is just one of them, but if it is a good fit, then we're gonna make it happen. And I'm just excited to meet more entrepreneurs and help. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have a copy for your business?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'll give you I know you. Hold on. Council Neighborhood Association? Well, remember, I was on the Benton Hills Neighborhood Association. I was on